Hello and welcome to the official podcast, the show where I always do the intro every single time. You can call me Andrew. That is what I will respond to and go by. That guy over there is Charlie, with the one with the beard, and the man in the back ordering a drink is Kaya. And if you look down real hard, you will see down there Jackson. Just you gotta look through all the floorboards. And today, playing the piano, you can hear him. He's very, very good. Is our brand new best friend, Mr. Kevin, who goes by Call Me Kevin, so I have called him Kevin. Kevin, why don't you introduce to the folks at home what you do, who you are, and why they should call you Kevin?
Thank you for calling me Kevin, by the way. I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Some people don't do that, Kevin, even though it's right in the name. I do YouTube videos where I play video games. It's kind of unheard of. It's a new space that I'm exploring, but it's been going pretty good.
Tell me, how do you do that?
I just hold up a camera recorder to the screen, try and keep it level, and the magic happens.
Now, is that legal where you are?
Who knows? I don't think the Irish police really care about much, to be honest. If it's not assault or higher, they just kind of let it slide.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's cute. I mean, with McGregor there now, I think that's all they care about.
Yeah.
So are we going to go ahead and pop the cork early on the most recent news in the YouTube sphere?
I guess we can if you want to talk about that.
Mr. I think his name, Austin Jones, pleading guilty to the child pornography charges. The guy we talked about a while back.
Yeah.
That finally coming to light. Finally, the law being brought down.
Give us a summation of what's happened over the years that we've known Austin.
So a long while back when this was up and coming news, we talked about this YouTuber, Mr. Austin Jones, who was a musician, and he would proposition 14 and 13-year-old girls who were his fans specifically to send him pornography where they would spread their butt cheeks and scream, "I'm 14 years old, I'm 14 years old." And today, in a shocking turn of events, after monumental evidence and claims against him, he has pled guilty, finally.
I mean, I honestly think that he's a redeemable soul since he admitted to it. It's kind of like how, you remember when Verizon throttled the firefighters' phone calls during the fires of California when that was going up in flames? And last night they released a Super Bowl commercial saying how they love first responders and firefighters. It's kind of like that. They admitted it, and they've forgiven.
Exactly like that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Austin Jones make a commercial during the Super Bowl?
About how much he loves little girls.
Yes. Babysitting services.
But another fun fact is Juliana went to high school with him, actually.
Really?
I found this out last night. He graduated right when she went in.
Juliana?
My girlfriend. But yeah,
she spread her ass for him.
I asked her, and unfortunately, no, she was too old by the time these things were happening. But yeah, apparently she went to high school with him. He was graduating and on the way out when she came in, but she also was friends with his brothers. And apparently at their school, they would do talent competitions. And because he was a musician, he played all the time. So she knew him. And apparently around the school, it was a big thing that he was known as a very creepy person. So I'm glad to know that he started early.
No way.
The pedophile was creepy?
I know. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe.
Did you ever go to high school with a pedophile, Kevin?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, I guess at the time they probably wouldn't have been a pedophile because they're under age, you know.
It's
so
never too late.
There's still
Kevin.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Things could change. Things could
There's
come
still
out.
hope.
Did you have any of those, anything at your school that was like the creepy guy or that guy who's like, oh, he's going to shoot the school up or he's a serial killer or something? You have any of those?
That was my gym teacher.
Really?
You know, I don't think so. And you'd think there would have to be one, so I guess it could have been me, and they could have talked about me behind my back. I don't know. You'd imagine on a law of average there'd be at least one, right? And I can't think of anyone. So possibly me, to answer your question.
Good to know.
I'm excited for 2 years from now. Call Me Kevin's getting tried for the exact same crimes as Austin Jones.
I want you to go on your rampage and be like, call me Beelzebub, and just have like a new dark persona for it. That'd be great.
I don't think I had anyone like super odd or concerning at my school.
It was my gym teacher. My gym teacher was an actual pedophile. He got
Really?
he got found to have just collected like hundreds of thousands of child pornography, and
Jeez.
he was
Wow.
taking. He would take students into like the shed on school grounds and inspect their feet sometimes.
Did you pass?
Was your teacher Dan
Was he
Schneider?
trying to get caught?
I don't know. He was very brazen. Like he was never interested in my feet though, so I didn't get to experience that.
Do you think?
How did that make you feel?
Why is it always
Rejected.
the gym teacher? In TVs and movies, it's always the gym teacher who's molesting the kids. Where does that stereotype come from?
Well, it's rooted in
probably-
reality, it seems.
Probably the fact that, like, I don't know, you get the kids in, like, shorts and get them all sweaty and shit, and I don't know, showers. There's a lot of implications with, like, physical activity. There's a lot of opportunity.
It also doesn't take much education to become the gym
That
teacher,
too.
I guess.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
too.
that's fair enough. Yeah.
You just got to be greasy and know how to do some push-ups, and that's it.
Do you think you would have
There's
passed this
one-
feet inspection, Jackson?
I think so. I've got all right feet.
I bet there's one kid listening to this right now, some upstanding, nice young man who's listening to this thinking, I wanted to become a gym teacher. I'm not a weirdo. Feeling bad about himself and his career choice right now.
Maybe it's
Poor guy.
maybe it's one of those things where if you you could be a perfectly normal person before you become the gym teacher, but once you take up that mantle, then you become a pedophile.
Yeah. I'm hoping we've maybe steered some bad guy from a wrong direction in life. Like, he's like, well, wait a minute, I'm not a pedophile. Oh, shit.
Well,
Wait a
what if
minute.
the exact opposite happens? What if that good guy that I just mentioned, we steered him away from this career? So instead of him, somebody's listening to this right now, some kid with bad intentions, he's like, that's right, they are naked in the changing rooms. I should become a gym teacher.
Don't do it.
Why am I bothering with the gym teacher route when I just want the child porn?
No.
Let's cut out the middleman.
All right, well, fuck you, Austin.
Yeah, it's a happy ending right there. To piggyback
Yeah.
off that, I told you guys about my college music professor who got busted in a sting operation for the same pretty much thing that Austin Jones did, right?
I
think
don't
so.
know. What did
Well,
he
tell
do? Did
Kevin.
he-
Yeah, this is new to me.
No. My music professor in college, very upstanding man. He'd tell us stories about how like good-looking guys in music were the devil and stuff like that. And if it wasn't classical music, it wasn't real music. Eventually, when I finished his course, about next semester, 2 semesters after that, he was in the headlines around my area for getting busted in this big undercover sting operation to catch like child predator professors.
Child predator professors.
Yeah, it was like
Oh.
it was a really niche investigation. I think it might have only been targeting him, like he'd been on the run for a while. They eventually,
So much for you don't need an education, by the way, Jackson.
yeah, this guy fucking studied music his whole life. He told us his first date, he took a girl to the Los Angeles Philharmonic, I believe. But
How old was she?
I couldn't tell you. He didn't mention, but
His daughter.
the story was pretty fucking cool because the FBI, it was so simple. They put out like a Craigslist ad as like, I'm 13 and my handler wants me to go out or something. And he immediately answered. So they busted him in at like a McDonald's parking lot or something.
My handler?
Yeah, I don't know. It was some really, like, they went through the whole operation because it was news around my university when it happened, and it was something like that. Yeah, so rest in peace to that professor.
Did he ever
just bizarre.
make you blow his flute?
No, I did do some after hours work, though, because my grades weren't that great because I just couldn't understand operatic stuff that well to, like, explain it in thousands of words. So he'd make me stay after class with a couple of other degenerates, and we'd watch operatic performances for an hour.
It's not a terrible punishment.
I mean, it could certainly be
Yeah.
worse. I could be getting my feet inspected or something.
Yeah, it's better than him pulling down his fly, like, time for your solo, Charlie.
I'm going to show you the skin flute.
Ugh.
Do you have any very odd professors growing up, Kevin? How about to expand that? Have you ever met anyone weird? Are you weird, Kevin?
I mean, I am kind of weird, yeah, but like I feel kind of excluded because I'm listening to all these stories and thinking like, where did you guys go to school? Because I don't feel like not having any traumatic professors in my life, it shouldn't make me the odd one out, you know? Like, is this something everyone's supposed to go through that I missed out on?
No, but didn't you drop out of school, Kevin?
I did. Who told
there
you?
it is. That's why I haven't met any pedophile gym teachers.
Yeah, maybe I left too early.
Yeah, you missed the good stuff in the act 2.
Yeah, I was in that awkward like transition of like 13 to 15 where I was too awkward to make a move on my teachers, I guess. So we just couldn't connect or something.
Well,
maybe
it's
that
back
was
to
it.
School season. You can always retry.
I left school at like age about 15, I think, is when I left.
And did you do that to pursue YouTube, or was it for some other reason?
It was kind of a mix because at like 14, I had like this from the age of about 8 to 15, 16. I had just like chronic stomach issues. And eventually it got to the point where I was missing more school than I was able to go into. And I was getting like stomach ulcers. So I'd be like coughing up blood and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't really know what caused it, but eventually they just kind of gave up guessing. I was like, okay, it's stress related. And YouTube was going quite well at the time. So probably a bad move, but I made the move to just quit school and pursue YouTube, which I wouldn't recommend anyone do, but that's what I did.
Well, thank God that worked out then. That's a bold one.
That's a risky move.
Is the illness still around? Are you still suffering from stomach ulcers?
About a year after leaving, it actually cleared up quite good. I still get like stomach issues, but nowhere to that extent. Like I haven't coughed up blood in like 10 years, so happy days.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. You hear that?
Yeah.
You hear that,
Yeah.
school? YouTube is literally curing illnesses. Thanks, Susan.
I'm so lucky. So you got out of school. You didn't get molested. You got healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait a minute, Kaya. You can tack that on to anything as a positive. Yeah, it was a successful trip to the grocery store. I wasn't molested, and I got all the food I wanted.
Hey, in today's day and age, when I was little, I was really scared in Germany growing up because half the news was little kids getting kidnapped and then turning up in some forest chopped up into bits.
Oh my God.
And I would get
kind of fairy
really
tales that?
scared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to get really scared because I really liked going out and just playing outside with my friends. And the news would just not give me any confidence of kids disappearing every single week. I don't know if there was a serial killer or what.
Yeah.
was it in like your local area or your country?
I don't know. Just the country. I think it was just
That's
Germany
really
in
sad.
general.
It is very
I don't
sad.
know.
Like
I was
obviously the
very young.
murders are sad, but the fact it scared you away from
Yeah, Kai
going
never
out
had a
and playing,
childhood.
that's kind of shit. Yeah.
Well, no, I still went outside. It's just whenever I came across those news, I'd be like, "Ah, shit! Is this the 7th person today? How many more children is this person gonna kidnap? What is going on? How come they can't find him?"
I used to think that same thing as a kid. Like when they say someone went missing, I'm like, well, have you checked the forest, you fucking idiots? Like, what are you doing?
They're not even trying.
Just letting him go missing.
It's such a great childhood innocence. You hear a kidnapped child and say, "Well, why can't they find him?"
Yeah. Have you checked
What's wrong
Have you
with
checked the
them?
playground or the Yu-Gi-Oh store?
I bet I could find him. Give me a map.
Fall asleep at noon.
Someone in my year in I don't know what you guys call it, but we call it primary school, like before high school.
Middle
someone
school for the States.
Elementary, is it? not?
Elementary.
No, if it's the school right before high school, it's called middle school.
Yeah, but someone in that, like, they were in the same year as me, and they went missing, and they were like, there was a search going on for like I believe about a month, and it turned out they were killed. It's pretty grim.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts because I remember even like I lived out in the country with my parents, and like I kind of found out about it from the news, and then people were like combing our country area like in the forest and shit to find him. It was really scary at the time.
Did they find the killer? I assume there was a killer.
Oh, get this. This is the weirdest shit. There was a like a church for like a mass for the kid. and everyone, like the locals and all that, kind of got around, and we weren't like a super religious family, but we went to the mass, and like
let me guess, the killer was there as well. He was the pastor.
More than that, I shook his hand. He was like in the row on
He
front
was the
of
priest
me.
giving the sermon.
But yeah, I legit shook his hand, and then it turned out he was the killer. It kind of screwed with me a bit.
What was his relation to the victim?
He was he was an adult. Obviously, the guy was a kid, but it was kind of like a semi-accident. Like he had. I don't want to go into like super detailed, but he basically got him in like a chokehold, and he ended up choking him.
I always slip up and get people in a chokehold, especially little
the erection he got was pure accident too.
I'm confused on how that could be an accident. Like, oh, shit, I just fell over and just fucking blood choked this 9-year-old.
Dude,
His hand slipped.
that never happened to you?
You got to be careful. You got to know when they're tapping out. Sometimes you just forget when you fall like that.
Yeah, well, I think that the story was he was kind of playing around or something. I don't know. It's, I'm not no detective,
The killer wasn't an adult. Okay.
No, the killer was an adult. He was just playing with children, so that that makes it better, right?
He was choking children.
What? Yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to make this somehow better for the killer. I've got myself into a bad situation here.
Just because you shook his hand, now you're sympathizing with him. It could happen to anyone.
Yeah, it's like when you meet someone and there's just a connection.
Yeah, it was just such a nice, firm handshake.
Those were some choking hands.
That was
these
scary
people's lawyers feel like when they're defending him, like, hey, they found your cum in the kid's digestive tract, but you could just say it was an accident,
I think
that must be a hard life to live.
I think
they want a paycheck.
Yeah, most of them probably just try and mitigate the sentence for like a plea deal or something, I imagine. I don't think there's a lot of like trying to challenge the case rulings itself.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you plead not guilty, but then you're found guilty, your punishment is more severe than if you plead guilty and try to negotiate. Yeah. So I think for certain cases where it's like, no, you're absolutely fucked, they usually just go ahead and plead guilty and try to negotiate the terms.
There was
Get a plea bargain.
That special case. I think it was Casey Anthony, right? Like she was dead to rights, but there was like one.
Who?
There was a big story a couple years back. I think Andrew, you might remember it.
Yeah, I remember it. She was it was her mom was like kidnapped her and then drowned her in a van and some shit.
It was a horrifying story, and this girl was
was big news
she
for
was
a long
dead
time.
to rights. Like they had all the evidence against her. And if memory serves me, and I could be wrong, I'm sure the comments will tell me how wrong I am, but it was something like when they were investigating the case, they violated the law by going through her search history where she searched how to drown a kid and hide it. And you can't do that. So they had to throw out the whole case, and she walked.
Wait, she had to look up how to drown someone?
It was something like that. I know they checked her browser history, and it was quite literally, I want to kill my child. And
the
how do I
secret
do
ingredient is water.
Oh, yeah, it was... The actual thing she Googled was like something like how to get rid of your child and stuff like what to do if you don't want your kid and all this kind of shit.
It was something like
that. What happens if I drive my van into a lake with my child inside?
Yeah, perfect lakes for drowning, shit
Maybe
like that.
How long can a 3-year-old hold her breath?
I get questions like that in my email all the time from Quora or whatever it's called. Oh my god, I hate that fucking website. You just reminded me of that.
Wait, what?
You get that website, Quora.
Quora?
Oh my god,
What about it?
I get fucking daily emails that basically cover what Kaya just said. Like, if Trump was in a van going 50 miles per hour and then hit a train going at 60 miles per hour, would he die? I get that shit fucking daily.
Why don't you unsubscribe?
I made an account on there. It had to be like 6 years ago using like a really old email that I still sometimes check, and it's nothing but Quora dumbass questions. The one today is, why is China scary? Is
that real?
Yeah, it's such a shitty website. I don't know who the fuck uses it.
Yeah, it always comes up when you type literally anything into Google and you end it with a question mark. The first result is always Quora, whatever it's called.
It's the new Yahoo Answers. That's all it is.
No, it's significantly.
Yeah, it really is.
No, this is so much dumber here. I just went back to it because I. Well,
Yahoo Answers was the fucking bastion of stupidity in its heyday.
But this is even more specific and worse. Like here, this one's from yesterday. 3 of our cheese graters have gone missing while our 13-year-old daughter swears she hasn't taken them. She's the only person who could have taken them. What in the world would a 13-year-old possibly need these for? That's my email. My email is just flooded with shit like that.
Why do they email them to you? What's the point?
I don't know. I didn't ask the fucking question.
Well, I assume they email all members, maybe to prompt them to answer.
Please, for the love of God, help her.
I have no fucking idea.
This is a Kiora emergency.
All hands to deck.
If you have any information, please call our hotline. Kevin, what's the stupidest question you've ever heard?
Oh God, it's got to be something to do with retail, because I worked retail there for a while, like 2-3 years ago, and just some of the things you'd be accused of or questioned on is just insane. Like,
what were you
common
ever
sense
accused
is not
of?
very
Please.
common.
Yeah, Phyllis said retail stories are a gold mine.
I'm trying to think of one. There was a particularly strange one, but it wasn't really a question or an accusation, but like it was a secondhand store where you could trade in like your phones or gadgets or whatever, but like the thing would have to be tested before we buy it, obviously, because it could be fecked basically. So this guy like hands in his phone to us, and he knows the story. We're like, it needs to be tested, come back in 20 minutes, whatever. And then he goes, and it wasn't me testing it, luckily, but like the person who was testing it just unlocks the phone, and immediately there's just a picture of him like getting intimate with his vacuum. And there was like a video to go along with it. But you don't know, was that an accident, or was he like, was he getting off on the fact someone was watching it, or did he just want to trade in the phone and he decided he'd like go for one last, view of it before he traded it in? Like maybe he went to the stalls and was like, oh, one more ride, and just took a watch of that video. I don't know, but
if he's fucking a vacuum, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't care who sees it. That's
I mean, maybe like he recorded it for a reason, right? Like he probably wanted people to see it.
What was the file name? Was it like for repair shop or something?
Oh, I don't know, man. I didn't touch that phone. I didn't want to go near that thing. You get so many
video
strange
for
people.
everywhere he took the phone.
Yeah.
So when you say he was fucking the vacuum, was he sticking it in the nozzle or in the actual
in
main
the
component?
nozzle, like the sucking part. Yeah.
So what kind of vacuum was it? Was it a handheld or one of the Dysons or what?
No, it was real sleek. Like it was really hot.
That model.
Oh, right.
Like,
the
lucky
dirt
bastard.
That cutie, a Roomba with a flashlight on it.
I gotta say, I
With
didn't
makeup.
I didn't absorb the whole situation. I didn't enjoy it as much as the average person would, I imagine. I didn't watch it that much, no.
That much.
No, like you gotta be like, when someone comes up to you and go like, oh, there's a video of that customer like, doing a vacuum, you kind of gotta look to see, because you don't really believe them. But I didn't stay for the whole show, I just gotta verify it to make sure. But yeah, you'd see some disturbing shit on people's phones.
I imagine that's probably pretty dangerous.
Yeah. And like there was issues with people, like we'd get orders in from different stores and phones hadn't been wiped and stuff, and there's still really bad shit on their phones that have already been bought, so they should have been reset. There's like really bad pictures and videos. I don't know, man. My mind is just... It needs to be erased and just start over after all the shit I've seen in that retail job.
PTSD from the repair shop.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I imagine this is how like veterans feel, but I'm probably worse. It's probably much harder for me to deal with, but I'm really strong. So.
That's all right. You overcame the stomach problems thanks to YouTube, and you can overcome the man fucking the vacuum too. God damn it.
So brave. So very brave, Kevin.
I'm a little soldier. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, what do you appreciate, Andrew?
Good investment.
I thought so.
Ooh.
Exactly, and I'll tell you how you can do it. You can use Robinhood, which is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission free. Robinhood strives to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy, and they have a non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for their first time with confidence. Let me tell you, I was doing some adulting not that long ago. I was trying to be an adult, and I looked at my to-do list, and I went, I've always wanted to invest in the stock market. So let's go ahead and do that. And I went up with Robin. It was one of the easiest setups I've ever used, and I think the app is sleek, clean, and tells me where everything is. Robinhood also has no commission fees, as other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't do that. There's no commission fees. You can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. They have easy-to-use charts and market data, and a web platform that also lets you view stock collections, such as the 100 most popular, or break it down into sections like entertainment, social media, maybe look at technology, because, computers are kind of important. And if you go to Robinhood right now at official.robinhood.com, you can get a free stock in companies such as Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. That is an entire free stock, all for you. I don't know why you wouldn't start your portfolio with Robinhood. If you go to official.robinhood.com. Kevin, what would you invest in right now with Robinhood?
Bitcoin. I don't know anything about stocks, so
that's fine.
Yeah,
it's good to go because Robinhood supports cryptos.
Perfect.
Invest at Robinhood. Go to official.robinhood.com for a free stock to help get you started.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. Now let's talk about how shitty the Super Bowl was.
Well, you and I are probably the only ones that watch the Jacksons in Australia, Kaya's in Germany, and Call Me Kevin's in Ireland.
I know. All right, let's not. Let's talk about anything else.
We'll go ahead and sum that one up. It was fucking awful across the board.
It was the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, now I'm kind of interested. Why was it so bad, Andrew?
Ooh, okay. So I'll give the rundown of why I hated it for you guys who, as people who don't watch football, can totally appreciate. So the halftime show at the Super Bowl has over the years gone more and more and more grandiose and huge and overblown and sponsored by Pepsi and this and that. And it's gone to be like, it's supposed to be these huge like pageantries of like, you get these big music names together and they perform songs and do like choreographed routines and fireworks and this and that.
Like a concert, basically.
It's exactly. It's a 15-minute concert in between the game. And this year, I think about like a month before the Super Bowl, around there, they put out a teaser trailer for the upcoming Super Bowl act, and it was Maroon 5. Now, opinions about the band Maroon 5 aside, during the teaser trailer, they're doing a bunch of supercuts. Like, they're showing the band playing, they're showing the football, they're showing the fireworks and the celebration, this and that. And for about 3 seconds, they show a clip from SpongeBob. Just an out of context clip from SpongeBob SquarePants, and then it goes back to like Maroon 5 playing and singing and this and that. And that on the internet started the big rumor of, oh my God, they're going to play Sweet Victory. They're going to play the song that they play in the SpongeBob episode Band Geeks. Remember when they all learned to be musicians and they play the big rock ballad at the football stadium?
Classic episode.
So probably the best episode, honestly. And everyone on the internet's like, oh my God, they showed SpongeBob in the teaser. They're going to have Sweet Victory. They're going to play that song, this and that, whatever. Or Maroon 5's going to play the song, or they'll bring on the musicians, or, they'll work in the clip or this or that. It was just a teaser, a little whatever. So the Super Bowl rolls around, and the first half is one of the most boring Super Bowls in known human history. In fact, the Super Bowl ended with a new record for the lowest scoring Super Bowl of all time.
Just a very defensive game.
The fucking boring game. But anyway, Maroon 5 starts their Super Bowl halftime show, and they're doing their songs. They're doing their popular ones like Moves Like Jagger and She Will Be Loved and all those songs and whatever. And then all of a sudden, the stage goes dark, and Squidward comes on the TV. And Squidward, doing his Squidward thing, goes, and now an artist that needs no introduction, Travis Scott. and instead of playing...
Happen.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
They played the clip, and then they worked in sicko mode. You know where the horns come out?
By Travis Scott, who fell from a meteor, where Squidward said, and now an artist who needs no introduction.
I didn't hear Squidward say that. I just know
He did.
They played the beginning of that clip with the horns, the dun, 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 and then it's supposed to be Sweet
but the
Victory
Squidward
starting.
bit was before the horns.
Oh,
Yeah. Either way. So Squidward, they play the first 3 seconds of the song, the clip from the show. The whole building up to the song with the trumpets and horns and this and that. And then where the song would normally start, they cut to a CGI animation of a meteor falling from space and landing into the stadium. And then an artist named Travis... No, a rapper named Travis Scott was on it, and he starts singing a new amazing song called Sicko Mode that no one liked. And then that was it. And that was all they did for the big hype of SpongeBob. They gave a rapper a 3-second intro with a clip from the episode, not using any of the episode that people cared about to be at the Super Bowl. And that was it. And now everyone's mad and hates it.
How does that make you feel, Kevin?
Indifferent. I mean, I'm not really into sport in general, and for a sport that is not talked about at all in Ireland, I don't really care about it. I mean, I do like SpongeBob though, so that's a shame.
See, I don't care that much about sports either. I barely follow any of them, but to me, the Super Bowl is the most watched televised program ever. Like, if you look at the top 100 most viewed television programs of all time, I think literally like 40 of them are Super Bowls or some shit. It's ridiculous. And if you're gonna get people hype up and you know what they want, just to fuck it up that spectacularly, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. And did the internet like call on them to do the SpongeBob clip first, or did they bait the internet?
No. So there was a petition after Steve Hillenburg died, the creator of SpongeBob, to play Sweet Victory at the Super Bowl, and it got like 1.5 million signers on it. And there was all this buzz and rumors and this and that. And during the fucking trailer for the Super Bowl halftime show, they played a clip from the episode. So they clearly knew that people wanted it. But to not do the literal reason people wanted it?
Why wouldn't they do it? It's so weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems pretty dumb.
They didn't even have to perform it. They could have just played more of the clip. They even showed they had the capacity to play the show because they showed the first part of that song from the episode of SpongeBob. But then they led into Sicko Mode. Like, what the fuck? You just had to keep playing the episode. It would have been fine.
Andrew just wants his SpongeBob, damn it.
I just wanted my Sicko Mode.
God.
That is a terrible title.
It is. It's a terrible song.
It is a very bad song.
Goddamn.
So yeah, that's my sports rant for the week. I'll be back next week talking about the NBA, but let's move on to anything else. I realize more than half the podcast right now isn't even American. So it doesn't matter.
But Kevin isn't. But here's something Kevin might care about. I don't know. Kevin, since you're in Ireland, and there have been these YouTube boxing matches to settle feuds, would you beat the shit out of Jacksepticeye?
I don't know. I met him recently literally by chance, not arranged at all. I literally ran into the guy and he was super nice. I do have about a foot on him.
Ooh, oh damn.
But at the same time, I don't know, he strikes me as a guy who'd like, work out a bit. So I'm the kind of person that I would definitely accept a fight as long as I know I'm going to beat them. But if there's even a slight hint of a challenge, I don't think I'd do it. I'm pretty fucked up, dude. Even walking upstairs today, my knee was aching, and I don't think I'm cut out for fighting.
Let's make it even. You have to fight Jacksepticeye, but Jacksepticeye's wearing a pair of moon shoes.
I still think he'd win. I think if anything, that would just confuse me more. I wouldn't really be able to understand what's going on. Like, as I said, I'm pretty messed up as it is. I don't...
His stomach will start bleeding and shit,
tough.
That's when the ulcers come back.
Yeah, get punched in the stomach, it just explodes.
Yeah, like a fucking tree frog. Use it as self-defense.
He just spit blood in his eyes.
That could work, actually. That could be a pretty good strategy.
Absolutely.
If you guys could stress me out a bit, then maybe we could induce it, and I could use it.
Yeah, the coach is in your...
like the acid spray, like Reptile in Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
You just have your fucking coaches in the corner feeding you math problems until it overwhelms you enough.
You can use it for evasion. You use it as like a quick dodge. You shoot to the right and fling to the left. It'd be great.
It's like the worst superpower ever. I love it.
How tall?
Like
I wish I could spit
Bloodborne
blood on
boss.
command.
How tall are you? Because I'm pretty sure he's 6 foot tall. So you got to be like
6'1".
Yeah,
I don't.
You gotta be fucking huge.
Look, I was really drunk and I was really lost at the time.
It wasn't even Sean.
I went to there. It was Twitch London. I went with 10 friends, and me and another friend got completely lost. I remember talking in a cowboy accent for a lot of the night, and then we passed him, and I kind of introduced myself. But I'm 6'1", and I vaguely remember a blurry version of him being quite a bit shorter than me, but I could be completely wrong.
It's 100%
sure
not even him.
Are you sure you weren't talking to like a cactus or something?
I mean, it's possible. He did tweet out about it afterwards, so if it was a cactus, he was highly intelligent.
Please leave me alone. Call me Kevin. Stop following me and talking in a cowboy accent.
Yeah.
Dude,
this moderately tall guy started bracing me in the fucking street. I don't know who he is.
Just dripping
anyone
blood
know
all
him?
over me.
He keeps screaming, "Call me Kevin."
Dude, it's actually the worst name for that, because if anyone sees me, like there's this kid in my neighborhood who knows who I am, and he'll just start screaming, "Call me Kevin," when I run by him, and I'm just like, "Okay, Kevin," and I just walk by him. But he's just screaming, "Call me Kevin," on the side of the street. It doesn't really make any sense.
Wait, he's asking you to call him Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's calling me by my name, but to anyone else, he's just asking people to call him Kevin, which is pretty confusing.
Yeah, that would definitely be an uncomfortable situation in public there.
It is. I think meeting anyone from the internet and like that knows you from YouTube or whatever is a little bit uncomfortable, just because they act like you know them personally, and then I don't know if I actually do know them personally and I've forgotten them, or they're just someone who's watched my videos and they know who I am. You get me? It's a weird dynamic going on there when you meet people.
And is that kind of like an expectation to be similar to your on-screen or YouTube persona? So you have to be entertaining in real life?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I think I'm a bit nicer in real life than I am on my YouTube, but I think other than that, I'm pretty much the same. So I don't really feel a pressure there.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Have you guys ever met your heroes, like Kevin meeting Sean?
I didn't want to say, but yeah.
Oh, he's your hero?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I don't think I've ever
you.
met someone that I've genuinely looked up to, and at least not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Wasn't there that one football player you said turned out to be a douche?
Yeah. Fuck, I knew his name when I told the story too, but yeah, you're
Tom
right.
Brady.
Yeah, he kissed me on the lips. Oh, that's something to talk about. There is one redeeming factor of the Super Bowl. At the end of the game, Tom Brady kissed an old man on the lips.
Well, yeah, what was that about? I saw that. Was that just like a poorly timed photo? Was he just talking to his ear, or was that an actual kiss?
I actually watched it live. He like pushed reporters out of the way to talk to the owner of the team, who's the guy who invented Kraft Foods, Robert Kraft. And he's like an 80-year-old man. And as the two meet each other in a warm embrace, Tom Brady leans in and kisses him on the lips.
Oh,
It was fucking amazing.
He had to get it.
I was
Now Robert
freaking out.
Kraft has technically kissed Tom Brady's son. Pedophile.
is
Oh,
his wife not pissed off that he's just going around kissing everybody,
I don't know.
basically?
There's no
She's
doubt in my
into it.
mind that he's planting some wet ones on the entire Patriots lineup, though. Like, this
I
man
mean,
is a
when you're-
serial kisser.
When your husband is Tom Brady, I think he kind of just does whatever he wants.
Yeah. Kisses who he
Can't really,
pleases.
can't really stop that, man. You know, what are you going to do? Say stop doing that? Tom fucking
Please,
Brady.
Tom Brady. I don't want any more
Try.
kisses.
I wouldn't really shrug my shoulders like, what are you gonna do? Like,
Actually,
kiss all the
that's probably
corpses.
that's probably why he's kissing so many people. His wife's banned him from kissing her because he was kissing her too much.
Too
Yeah,
affectionate.
it's a protest. If you won't kiss me, I'll kiss everyone else. Come here,
He's taking
Kraft.
it super seriously.
How far do you think this kissing goes? Like, do you think he kisses his friends when they come over?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think he kisses his bag boy who bags his groceries?
Is it a normal
Like,
thing for people to kiss other people on the mouth? In
Not
any-
on the mouth, on the cheeks when
Yeah.
you're like when you know somebody makes sense, but never on the lips. No.
We've discussed this before. If you come from the sort of family who kiss their kids on the mouth, get emancipated. Stop. Stop. Run from your parents. That is weird. It's not
Kevin?
okay.
Do you know anyone that kisses other people in the mouth?
My girlfriend does it. It's really weird. I don't like it. I mean, it's just to me,
God.
but I just it makes me uncomfortable.
I thought you
don't
meant
like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant she's going around kissing everyone like Tom Brady. I got worried.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't follow her around. Who knows? It's 2019, man. I don't know. I do find it a bit weird. I even find the cheek kissing a bit odd because, you know, some people actually kiss the cheek and some people kind of fake it. And I never really know what to do.
Yeah, I kiss the air next to the cheek if I'm ever going to do that.
So do I.
Yeah, I do it as well. I
I feel like that's the safer option.
Nibble on
That's
the
the
ear.
polite way.
nibble on the ear, little tongue action.
Nibble their neck, whisper in their ear.
Wet Willie.
Meet me in the
Whisper sweet
Hoover out back.
nothings.
Yeah.
Suck their earlobe and whisper in.
Breathe on their
into
shoulder.
their ear.
It's so good to see you, Mr. Kraft.
Nuzzle them a little bit. Oh, hello.
Yeah, Tom Brady's a fucking weirdo though. Like it's not even like normal like kissing on. Well, there's no normal kissing your son on the lips, but it's like such a weird one. Like he was getting the big one where he was getting the massage, and his son tried to retreat from the room, and he says, "Where are you going? Do I get anything?" So his son.
Where's
So-
my happy ending?
So his son has to come back and kiss him on the lips.
I mentioned this while we were watching the Super Bowl, but I can't wait until like 20 years from now when his son's a 30-year-old man and they're just showing up and kissing each other full on the lips.
This is my son. They just start Frenching.
Grabbing his ass.
Good game out there, Tommy.
He kisses him at a family event and you just hear him whisper under his breath, I needed this so badly.
Cherry chapstick, yeah.
You know me so well, Mr. Kraft.
His wife's there, but he just whispers to his son, run away with me. Let's go. Together.
We can make a new start.
I'd feel so embarrassed.
No
being
one
a
kisses
Patriots
like you
fan.
do.
You know what I love. You get me.
You complete me. You came from me, so you know every part of me.
Do you see Patriots fans defending that though? They're all coming out saying, "I kissed my dad on the lips."
Oh no.
That's their defense.
He's starting a movement.
Yeah, that's what I said. I feel like a lot of people are influenced by celebrities, otherwise they wouldn't use them for commercials and shit. I'm 100% sure there's a bunch of limp dick diehard Patriot fan families that are now kissing each other on the lips like Tom Brady does. 100%.
Is there really a problem what people do behind closed doors?
No, but I just
Yeah,
feel
with
like
their
it's
kids.
not. I just feel like it's not normal. I feel like that's bad for development, I'd say.
No, it's still no. Don't. Even behind closed doors. Leave your kids alone.
Don't
Yeah,
show them
just
any love.
Take the Kaya rod of affection, wave at them occasionally.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
you can show them love. Just don't show them French love. Don't make out with them.
Take a page from Kaya's dad's playbook and just leave.
Hey, it's better than him going second base with me.
You don't know that. You could have enjoyed it.
Yeah, imagine Kaya now if his dad was still Frenching him in his life. He could have been the next Tom Brady.
He'd be the sweetest man we ever knew, kind and gentle.
The next Tom Brady or the next Ted Bundy. Either one, really.
Oh man. So all right, let me ask you boys a question then, and I want all four of you to weigh in. Would it be creepier if Tom Brady's take Tom Brady's son? Would it be creepier if his mom was doing the kissing?
Oh man, that'd be so hot.
What, like, do you mean?
So imagine Tom Brady, you take his family. His son is already used to kissing, so we'll use him as an example. So Tom Brady's son, Tom Brady doesn't kiss his kids on the lips. His wife does. Is that worse or better?
Well, in that case, society gives her a slap on the wrist with like probation and says that the kid was asking for it, like all those teachers do.
I think in that
It
sense,
happens like
yeah.
once a month with the teacher who fucks some 14-year-old, and then they say,
Yeah.
you know, he scored. He liked it, probably.
No, this is a kiss from a mum.
Yeah.
I
This
feel
is a
like
mom's
that-
big old kiss.
that's probably a bit more normal, but I think it's still weird.
What do you think,
Bit more
Kevin?
normal. Just because it's not homosexual.
Well, it's like
Still weird.
it's just I don't know. It's Tom. I guess maybe it's just because it's Tom Brady and that guy's such a fucking scary man.
I don't know. It just seems weird to me, no matter what the parent. But even if you were doing that behind closed doors, why would you take your kid on like one of the biggest world stages and start kissing them on the lips? Like, that is bully fuel. That is just cruel to the kid.
Well, you don't know that. Maybe weird. Like around the area, like at school, he's the coolest kid on the block because he's kissing Tom Brady. You don't know.
That's true.
Whoa, that guy got to kiss Tom Brady. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Who's gonna bully him? The private teacher who costs $2 million an hour?
Who Tom Brady also kisses?
That's a good question. At what point does celebrity just completely overshadow all of this? Like, if you're at school and you're an average everyday kid and they find out that your dad kisses you on the lips, like they see you getting dropped off for school, of course they're going to give you shit. But like, do you think Tom Brady's son, he drops him off, gives him a big wet one on the lips, and as he's going in, the kids are just like, I'd make fun of him, but that's Tom fucking Brady.
I like to imagine like the kid thinks it's cool. Like, he shows up to school in a leather jacket, kisses Tom Brady on the lips, and then like walks in with like Dre beats on and tattoos.
He's got rhinestones on the back of the jacket that says, "I kissed my dad."
Daddy's boy.
Oh God. No, I don't like any of that.
Yeah, Tom Brady's a fucking weirdo. Patriot fans, I don't know why you defend it. It's weird.
But does he just kiss everyone? Was this a once-off, or is this a common occurrence with Tom Brady?
He's addicted.
Because I'm not really familiar with him.
Yeah, I haven't studied the Tom Brady lore too much. I stopped watching sports a few years ago. But the kissing son thing was pretty recent. And then last night he kisses the old man on the lips. So I imagine it's got to be like kind of common for him.
Was the old man hot at least, or?
The man's worth $6.6 billion. He's pretty fucking hot.
So he was in it for the money.
Yeah,
he's the hottest old man on the earth.
He was no vacuum, but he'd do, for the money. Yeah.
Didn't he hand out like 100-year-old cigars after the game was won or something? He had like a box full of these super expensive cigars that he just handed out.
I'm not sure. I didn't watch that far into it. After the kiss, I was like, that's a good season finale.
That's enough for me.
That's enough incest.
Well, I mean, he doesn't.
They're not related.
Yeah, he's not related to Robert Kraft. Well, at least not by blood, I guess.
Not as far as we know. Maybe that's his secret granddad, and it's just a family tradition.
Apparently, well, actually, it does seem to be a tradition because I Googled it because I was also curious. He kissed Robert Kraft in February of last year, too, for some reason.
Robert Kraft keeps coming back, though.
Those lips must be soft as fuck.
I wouldn't kiss anyone like that unless I had a legitimate shot at marrying Jeff Bezos or something.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like I'd definitely fringe out with Tom Brady if I get enough exposure dollars out of it.
Not exposure, I mean actual money. Like, I'd lick Jeff Bezos' bald head if it got me $1 billion.
How far would you go, Kevin, for the clout?
I don't know. I mean, if it's licking Jeff Bezos' head, I think I'd do that for a lot less than $1 billion.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I'm that expensive, to be honest. But I don't think he'd settle for me. I think he could find a way better man to lick his head if he really wanted to.
So it goes back to Jacksepticeye.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he'd pick Jack over me, and I'd just be looking from the sidelines as Jack again gets to overshadow me.
For what it's worth, I'd pick you.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you bald?
No.
I don't want to lick your head then, sorry.
Thick and dense hair. You'd have to chew on it like a cow.
Wait, that actually reminds me. Kaya, you tweeted that your chest hair was so dense that the nurses couldn't EKG you properly, so I had to go get like industrial scissors at a store to shave you.
Yeah. Well, not industrial scissors or a scythe. It just... So I went to the doctor's office, not a hospital, just a, little doctor's office, your house doctor, for a visit to get an EKG. And an EKG, for those who don't know, I didn't know. It's apparently this thing where they put little things on your chest. Those, what are they called, Charlie?
Defibrillators?
No. It's like the little sticky probe things. I don't know what they're called.
Like little probes. They have to put them on specific spots, though, like on your one in the middle of your chest, one on your pec, one on the side of your stomach, and all that. But they have to hold on. Obviously, they have to create some sort of suction or adhesion. And I was just too hairy, so I there's this really cute nurse there too, and she told me to take my shirt off and lie down. So I do, and it's like 3 nurses, and she's trying to untangle those probes because they all have these long cables, and she finally does it. And she takes 2 of them in her hand. She looks at me and she's like, she gets a little startled, like, I think we have to shave this. And I can immediately tell that she's new. So I'm like her rite of passage, I suppose, because I could tell that she was new there because she didn't have this jaded look on her face like all the other nurses. Like, they don't even care if I live or die. She actually was trying to do her job, but she couldn't. So they said, oh, we don't have any razors left. So I don't know, it was like 8 a.m. in the morning on a German winter day that some small little nurse had to go and make a razor run to shave my chest, and then the cute nurse ended up shaving my chest.
I like to imagine the alarm sounds when you go in there and take off your shirt, like, Jesus Christ, we got a live one, boys, look at this.
Hose him down.
No, just all the time I couldn't help thinking, like, this is such a cheesy porn opening.
She comes back from the razor shop and you're just completely naked.
So
it's like I turn my ass to her, to all my ass hair like Cthulhu's spawn.
Can you shave
Can you
this?
get this too?
Kaya just fucking bent over when she gets back in the room.
I'm sorry, doctor. The situation got hairy.
Ooh, I dropped the defibrillator on the floor.
We didn't even need that.
Let me go through my body hair to pick that up.
What the fuck?
That was the noise of you crinkling in an erotic fashion.
No, you can't fool me. That was Donald Duck from Kingdom Hearts. I've been there.
So do you now just have a super smooth patch on your chest now that's just completely hairless?
No, she was nice. She only shaved the few spots where she had to attach the things. So now I have like 2 barely shaved spots, like bald spots on my chest, which I assume they will grow back in 2 weeks or so.
What a cruel twist of fate it would be if they like destroyed your follicles there and never grows back. What would you do? Would you shave your chest permanently or leave it like that?
I didn't even know that was a thing that would happen to people. No, I don't think so.
Really, you just leave the spots?
Well, no, they're not even that noticeable. If I combed the rest of my hair like in a certain direction, I could easily hide it.
A chest comb over? Is that what you're saying?
You wouldn't understand, Kevin. How many times have the nurse had to melt down and get razors to shave you, huh?
I mean, I'm not that hairy of a guy. I don't think it's ever happened. Unfortunately, it does sound pretty fun.
I feel bad for you. Probably don't even kiss your dad on the lips.
No, he doesn't like me enough for that. As I keep trying, but he won't let me.
He doesn't reciprocate.
What did I do wrong?
Why, Daddy?
I saw Tom Brady do it, and he won a Super Bowl. 6.
Coincidentally, I have an appointment tomorrow morning, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll have another excuse to have some body part shaved by cute nurse.
You find out she's quit. It's too much for her.
Alcoholism's taken over now. She's addicted to pain meds or some shit.
I'll join her. It would be great.
I'm sure that's what she'd want if you made her quit, you joining her. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Storybook ending.
Yeah, it brings its problems to be this hairy, Kevin.
I can empathize, but I can't sympathize. I'm not a hairy guy, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
But I understand your struggle, and I wish you the best going forward.
That was wholesome. Kevin, do you masturbate?
I mean, who doesn't?
Do you have any interesting masturbatory tales for us today?
I don't know. Sometimes I look at my vacuum and I think, what if? But other than that, I don't really think
He
so.
inspired you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got
Have
the
you ever
same
had
model.
any naughty thoughts looking at your Roomba?
I have my Roomba right behind me, and he won't turn on. And I don't mean as in I can't turn him on. I mean like he won't power up. Like I'm sure I could turn him on if I was wearing the right thing, you know. But
So if you
it
fuck
won't
him, would it
power
be counted as necrophilia?
Possibly. I guess you could put it that way. I mean,
No.
if you really wanted to jump through a few hoops to get to that conclusion, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't hold up in court, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think I could get away with it.
What's the weirdest thing all of you guys have fucked in terms of like
You've asked that
banana
question.
peels? Yeah, but my point was, what's really different towards like us fucking a banana peel or something and some guy fucking a vacuum cleaner?
Wait, stop lumping yourself in. Stop lumping us into your banana fucking, Jackson. You can't keep doing this. You came in with such a loaded question. So what's the weirdest thing everyone's fucked? You know, like banana peels we all have.
It was
you
just
know.
an example. I've never fucked a banana peel.
A pineapple.
Pineapple, your sister. You know, just the weirdest.
No, but my point was, what's so bad about fucking a vacuum cleaner? You know, like it's just another one of those things that some people can fuck.
Well, there's nothing. I mean, not bad per se, but you don't give your phone to somebody else to see.
Yeah, that's the issue.
I mean, what happens behind closed doors? Who gives a shit? Do whatever you want, but you don't bring in people who don't want to be part of that world.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but whenever people talk about other people fucking vacuums or whatever, there's always that stigma of, will I be accepted?
It's okay, Jackson. We accept you.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I like how you went the other way on that one. That was really clever. I liked it.
Yes, clever.
But I mean, that's just all cultural shaming. People like to think that they're better than other people because they don't like something.
There's no culture where fucking vacuums is acceptable.
Well,
Andrew.
let's of course not. But let's break it down this way. If you found out that, oh God, I don't know, who's like the manliest man you can think of? Who do we
Bear
look
Grylls.
up to?
Me.
John Bernthal.
Oh,
All right,
Oh yeah,
so
John Bernthal having a baby with I don't know,
Norris?
Rambo.
All right. So let's imagine that like the actual Rambo was a real person, and you found out he fucks vacuum cleaners. Is he
isn't.
any less of a man?
Well, I mean,
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so, but he's still a weirdo. Like,
Yeah, you can think it's weird,
It's a
but
bit odd.
You can think it's weird, but I don't think it detracts from the person at the end of the day. Like Tom Brady
No, I don't
kissing his
think
son
so
on the
either.
lips is absolutely weird and uncomfortable, but he's still Tom Brady, you know?
yeah, but I don't know if Rambo was like, I don't know, fucking pie and chickens and vacuums. I wouldn't really want a poster of him. I don't know. It does kind
that's a
of take
fair
away
point.
slightly.
So then it
good
just
point.
rallies back to my point that people, you know, they try to think, oh, well, it makes them less of a person, or oh, that's so fucking weird. I'm better than that. That's the only reason it's stigmatized. Everyone
If I
can
don't
do
fuck
whatever
a
they want.
vacuum, I kind of am better than that. We don't have to lower our standards that much.
All I'm saying is vacuum fuckers should be accepted in this society. They've been marginalized for too long. If you out there fucked a vacuum, let us know. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. Be proud
guess-
of who you are.
I guess
Which
here's
brand's
how
the
I
best?
draw the line is obviously when we're young we all do everything, but if you do this on a continuous basis where you prefer the vacuum or the banana to your girlfriend, then you'd be a weirdo. Not if you tried it
Agreed.
once when you were 13 and really horny.
That's a good
Is that
point.
okay, Kevin?
That is a good point. No, that's a good point.
Did he sum up your thoughts with that one, Kevin?
I mean, I still think the vacuum is one too far. But I mean, whatever someone does behind closed doors, as long as they're not hurting anyone, then I'm cool with. You just work away.
Well, that was
Okay.
wholesome. Yeah, that was wholesome.
Yeah.
Does
So if you
fucking a
could-
vacuum void its warranty?
I don't imagine so. No, you just return that bad boy right away.
It's
You
just
don't even
all
empty
like
the bag.
gunked up with cum.
So it had to be like a handheld one, right? Because the new regular ones have like those spinning bristles and shit. I can't imagine that feeling any form of good.
I don't know what fancy technology you have across the
Yeah,
pond.
space
but
age
ours
technology.
don't have
All right,
that.
take like a regular stand-up vacuum and turn it over and look at the vacuuming part. It's got like spinning brushes and shit to pick
Oh
up the
no,
dust.
no, this is like did you ever see those like Henry Hoovers that they have like a nozzle coming out of them and then there's a brush at the end that you can detach, so then it's just a
Right.
tube.
It's just a sucky tube. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guy is just posting
Thanks
pictures
for
of the
that
hottest
image.
vacuums
Yeah.
now.
Well, what you said reminded me of I posted
Yeah,
a
the-
photo of the Teletubbies,
The Teletubbies.
vacuum.
You remember him?
Oh yeah. Teletubbies, man, they had some like weirdly sexual shit on that show,
That was
man.
a shit. Kevin, how much would you accept to be paid if somebody, let's say the terms are somebody is going to leak you doing the most heinous sexual act, but it's a deep fake? How much would you have to be paid? Like, you don't even have to do it. Somebody just has to fake it.
Before you answer, do you have proof that, like, it's not you?
No. You can argue it's not you, but you don't have any evidence.
Wait,
to
what was the
contrary.
hypothetical again?
Somebody's gonna release a deep fake of you doing all sorts of weird shit. How much would you take in payment to accept that?
Is the thing like illegal or is it just
Yeah.
freaky?
It really depends on how
Well-
how fucked up the deep fake is. Like, I don't want to be seen fucking a dog. But if it's like
yeah.
they put me in gay porn, I'd let them do it for free. I wouldn't care.
Well, let's say fucking a dog then. How much, Andrew? What's your
Oh,
price?
that's hard. That's a hard
I
one.
don't think you could reach an amount for something like that.
Yeah, that's a
That would
reputational
ruin your
suicide.
life.
Only if we also deep fake the dog's face to be like Tom Brady or something.
Ew. Kissing
Just to
you?
throw
I
him
don't
in
know.
there too.
I like how that's
Just brought this
suddenly
up
you.
because
But that's smart because that would steal the headlines. All the focus would be on Tom Brady.
Yeah, how he's a
It would be
dog
off
getting
you.
fucked in the ass.
Yeah, you're a genius.
Tom Brady's mastered football, and now he's mastered transmutation.
And apparently it's made him a homosexual.
Well, I was just asking because apparently there's this new bill that politicians are trying to introduce to ban malicious deepfakes. It's called the Malicious Deepfake Prohibition Act of 2018. I don't know.
Isn't
what
every
happened to it,
deepfake malicious?
but- No, like there's a difference between if I deepfaked you playing golf
True.
for shits and giggles and me deepfaking you fucking a baby, right? So, or maybe a head of state saying something that could start a war. So I guess that they're trying to curb that now. All of the stuff, we discussed this before, like what happens if people make deepfake kiddie porn? Isn't that illegal? Would that be illegal? And now I guess they're taking steps to make it illegal.
It's probably a good idea to start making that shit illegal early.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like that's just going to get worse, isn't it? It's going to get more advanced.
It's
Have you
already
seen-
too late.
Yeah, have you seen any deepfakes of yourself yet, Kevin? Like actual ones?
No, just poorly paint images that they just take my head out and don't even edit out the background and just put me onto something. Nothing. I'm not worth any effort, is what I'm trying to say.
There's a great deepfake of Jennifer Lawrence. With
I saw
Steve
this.
Buscemi. Yeah, we gotta have. I need to finish that website so we can share these links that we always talk about. But it's this deepfake of Jennifer Lawrence, but with Steve. How's his last name pronounced?
Buscemi.
Buscemi's.
Buscemi.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi's face basically on her, and it's the
Are
weirdest
you,
shit I've ever
are you
seen.
sure that's a fake?
Maybe Steve Buscemi's really prolific.
Yeah, I mean that's a hell of a transition if it is not fake.
Playing his
That's
greatest
impressive.
role yet, Jennifer Lawrence.
God, man, I am ecstatic to see in maybe like 5 years, if that, when this technology is just perfected. Because if you look at it, you can see some of the imperfections and how they did it. But man, when they get it perfect, this is going to be some
I can't.
scary
Like,
potential.
If I wasn't paying attention and I was just scrolling past this video on a Twitter feed and decided to play it randomly, and if I didn't know either of these people, I just assumed this was a very ugly woman.
Or the most handsome man on earth.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty convincing if you wouldn't know either of them. Like, how much effort goes into making something like this? Does anyone actually know?
I think the article that I read said that the person rendered this on an RTX in like half an hour. I'm not sure.
That's not
That's
bad at
scary.
all. Yeah,
That
Jesus
is scary.
Christ.
RTX current
Man.
gen hardware there.
But just imagine, you'll make movies in the future starring literally whoever you want. I think that's badass.
Yeah,
You
it
get a
fucking
Kim
sucks for the
Jong-un-
people living at the time, though. Then I won't get any roles. I'd be
People
fucked.
already
Yeah,
hate
but
that.
so
People
what?
are
You get to make a
how
new-
dare you use Carrie Fisher's face?
Yeah, and who cares? You get to make the Avengers starring Kim Jong-il as every single superhero.
Yeah, how does that help me if I don't get to play a superhero, though? Fuck that. You're stealing our jobs, Andrew. I'm an actor, God damn it.
Those
Are
North
you?
Koreans.
I don't know. I think the potential for this, even though it definitely has supervillain connotations. There's some wild shit you could do with this if you're creative.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. I don't want a deep fake of Trump declaring war on Russia or Turkey or something.
But at the same time, I'd love a deep fake of like Donald Trump starring as, I don't know, what's another big as like the new Men in Black agent. That'd be fun.
That would
just
be
make
pretty
stupid
cool.
shit with it. Yeah.
I like that. That would be an innocent, nice meme kind of thing, like remixing movies with your favorite actor. Maybe all the movies could do that. They just hire actors' faces, so every movie gets released in several versions. So you can watch John Wick with Keanu Reeves or John Bernthal.
I can't wait for the post-apocalypse where every single movie that comes out, every actor is played by Seth Rogen. Every single movie from start to finish.
Who would you deep fake and where, Kevin? What would be your first choice with this technology?
I'm not sure. I mean, since we've been talking about him, like I could try and take the #1 spot on Irish YouTube if I got Jacksepticeye in a bad light, you know? I could try and launch a smear campaign against him. But he's such a nice guy, I don't think I'd be able to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah, you just gotta have
Maybe.
a heart of steel.
Yeah, I gotta just get into the business frame of mind, you know?
You could do this. You could start the render of him doing something really fucked up in your deepfake, then drink so much that the next day you forget that you made that deepfake. You just wake up to that video on your desktop.
And then I think it's real.
Think of it this way. The reason he's at the top right now is probably because he's made decisions like this in the past, Kevin.
That's true.
He'd take you out if he was in your position. So be careful.
I think you overestimate my skills at editing, like how shit my deepfake would look if I made one. I don't think it would convince anyone. I think that's the problem here.
Maybe not, but I think Jackson's onto a point here. Kevin, didn't you get hit by a car when you were like in your teenage years?
About 3 years ago, I got hit by a car. That's why I stopped doing retail, funnily enough, and why I started doing YouTube again. I could have been Jacksepticeye. If it was, he was doing blackface, so for that I could take him down alone.
Well, what we could do is look at the security footage from the intersection and deep fake him onto it.
Possibly. It was really blurry, so it wouldn't even take that much effort.
Or just his white face onto a black body. How does that work? You fix some shoe shine on it then, too.
I'd be impressed.
Yeah, I think we can take him down, boys, if we all band together.
Well, tell the story about how you
Just
got
me.
hit by the car. I didn't know about that. Let's relive that traumatic experience together.
Oh, I can't wait. I love it. Basically, to cut a long story short, I was crossing the road after seeing my favorite movie in the cinema, Batman vs. Superman. And to top it all off...
starting the day off well already.
Jumped in front of a car, nice. Yeah, makes sense.
But you ever get that feeling like when you're walking out of a movie, like you've just seen Pirates of the Caribbean and you kind of feel like Jack Sparrow, you know? I kind of felt like Superman, and I just walked out onto that road and... yeah, the guy was just being an idiot. He just ran a stop, and I was on foot, and he knocked me down. And yeah, it's like the court case is like still ongoing, like the civil, but criminally he's already been charged. But he kind of fucked me up. He won that fight. I took out his wing mirror though, so I got something at least.
He went down swinging. Did you roll over the hood?
Yeah, I kind of. It was the one time I feel like I actually acted like someone cool, because the car was coming right at me and I kind of jumped and rolled into it like I feel like you should, and then I rolled over the top and like kind of onto his windscreen and off the side and took his mirror off. And that's what the guy was most upset about. Was he was upset his wing mirror was gone. Poor guy. Felt really bad for him.
Since you have a platform for it now, I think you should tell the court's doctors that you've been suffering great mental anguish of your personal injury, right? Yeah.
I think so. I think I've got a good case, you know?
That's fucking wild. Did he... Well, I'm assuming he must have stopped, right?
Yeah, like, I was kind of lucky because there was 3 people with me, but I'd gone ahead because I was getting the car and they were, like, waiting just by the cinema. And, yeah, he hit me and then he stopped, but, like... I don't know. Obviously, the guy is in shock, so I don't want to be like too hard on him. But he immediately ran over to me and was like, "Why are you running in front of my car?" And started screaming at me as I was like flat on my back on the floor, just
what a cunt.
really confused.
He's playing smart. If he screams that when it goes to court, they'll be like, "Your Honor, we have evidence that he ran in front of the car, which is why he reacted this way." He knew.
The problem was there was like CCTV footage of him like flying around the corner and not even like tapping his brakes. And I was there at like the day in court, and the police officer, you'd call them, was like kind of interrogating him. And he was like, "So we can see that you didn't push your brakes." And he was like, No, I was. And he's like, "Okay, we see you pushed your brakes when you took off. You weren't pushing your brakes here." And he was maintaining that both his brake lights blew, and like between the time he hit his brakes and the time he hit me, so his brake lights didn't come on. He was just he was something else, that man.
Well,
Something else.
At least he stopped and insulted you.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated that at the time,
Yeah.
because a bit of emotional abuse really is the cherry on top of physical abuse.
I mean, at the
Maybe
end of
one
the
day
day,
you can
I
become
appreciate
friends.
yeah, at the end of the day, you needed to accept responsibility for diving in front of his holy vehicle there.
Look, man, have you ever apologized? You probably made him late to work or something.
I mean, he was leaving work, I think. I did run into him in the store he worked at one point, but I'm not even kidding you. It sounds ridiculous, but I was coming around the aisle and went left, and he was coming against me, and he literally went, "Ah," and just turned around and walked the other way. I don't really understand what the noise was about, and if it was something unrelated or he was shocked that he saw me or what, but he literally just 180'd and got out of there really quick.
You're his boogeyman now, like a ghost.
Maybe.
You should just show
And
up
I
at his
think he's
house
left there.
sometimes. Like, I was just in the neighborhood. You live here. What the fuck? Just to be a
I could
reminder.
try. Yeah, you could try.
We got that civil court case coming up. Don't forget. Sorry about that mirror again.
Hey, hit anyone else lately?
What's your body count at yet?
It's so weird because it's just a small world, because my girlfriend was doing temp work at I won't go into too many details. She was doing temp work essentially at this place that assists people with disabilities, and he applied to work there. And she was like sorting out his application and all that, and he had lied and said he had no criminal record and no issues with his license, like he had a clean license, but obviously he did have issues with his license, and she knew this, so she had to go to her boss and be like, this guy like
he tried
hit
killing
my
my
boyfriend with a car.
This is the definition of this town is too small for the both of us. How do we keep running into him? Everywhere.
I don't know. Like, I've met him, I've met the killer. I think I just meet
what the
bad
fuck?
people. Yeah, and the thing is, the population isn't that small where I live. It's just a small world, I guess. But
Maybe
it's
you're the
bizarre.
cause of this shit. At the end of
I
the
could
day.
be.
Yeah.
I think I just gravitate to bad things and bad luck, you know?
It's like Final Destination.
Yeah,
Yeah, but with
on the
assholes.
bright
Die.
side, like if that didn't happen, if I didn't get hit by the car, I'd probably still be working retail and I wouldn't have started YouTube again. So I'm in a pretty good position out of a negative, I guess. So you could look at it that way.
You owe him.
You owe him so much.
Yeah.
Don't say that in court. Leave that out.
Should I send him flowers or something? Like, thanks. Do they do like a Hallmark card for like, thanks for hitting me with your car or anything like that?
For like your 2 million sub special, you could just have him appear on your channel. Here's the guy who made it all happen.
I don't think he'd collab with me. I don't think I have enough clout for that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. That's the
He's too
dream.
busy collabing with Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, what if that's how Sean got started? He got hit by that same guy. The man literally just fucking clobbers creativity into the people he hits with his vehicle.
Yeah.
He hits them and screams, "You're welcome."
A new kind of talent scout.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a jigsaw where he's like making people play the games to like be forgiven. He's just making people miserable to see if they get strong enough to survive and flourish.
Yeah, after you got hit when you stood up, he comes out of the shop and goes, "You passed the test. Here's the login to your YouTube channel."
So many
Dude, if he
people
did
are
that, he probably would have
ungrateful.
got away with it. I would have been so confused. I don't know what I would have done. He could have just drove off, and I don't think I would have said anything.
Imagine if he played it off like so cool that you questioned yourself. Like he gets out of the car and he's got like jeans on that are ripped at the knees, and he flicks a cigarette on you and just like, "You're welcome."
My inner monologue takes over.
Yeah.
Yep, this is me. Let me tell you about how I ended up here.
That's an awful situation. Hope it's all right now, though. Hope you're doing fine.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird because at the time I was like, oh, this will all blow over, because obviously you go into shock and you don't really feel a lot of stuff, but it just gets like worse as the days go on, and then this stuff just lasts. I got really awkward injuries that just, I would have been better off breaking bones rather than the injuries I got, because they're still like limiting me and shit after about 3 years.
Jesus.
But yeah, they're not like, you know, could have been a lot worse. I'm not like bitching about it or whatever, but it's just, yeah, at the time you think like, a few weeks and I'll be fine, and they just don't go away.
That's fucking rough. Ligament damage and shit like that's the worst kind of shit to
Yeah,
get.
exactly. Yeah.
Because that's so much harder for the body to heal and get back to normal.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, how you can't seem to recover from that stuff that easily.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess the takeaway from your experience to everyone listening is don't see Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. I mean, quit school, run out in front of traffic, become a YouTuber, and your life should be fine. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
There's the origin story for YouTubers right there. The quintessential YouTuber startup.
That's your superhero origin story. Kevin was an ordinary Batman fan when his life changed forever. And just shows you getting mowed down by the car.
Dude, it wasn't even a cool car. It was like a little 99 Ford Fiesta. It was a small car.
It's not about
Like,
the
if it was
size
like
of
a
the
Hummer.
car. It's about the size of the potential in the man who gets hit by the car.
Yeah, and also the potential energy of the car hitting you.
I like that as a scene though in like the Call Me Kevin biopic where he gets hit by the car and then the camera pans in like past his skin into his blood cells, and then it just has like these demonetization things like attaching to the blood cells or something. That could be cool as shit.
I'm going to steal that. Thank you.
Yeah, by all means, man. Well, we're at the point where we wrap up, Kevin, so if there's anything you'd like to plug, shout out, now's the time, man.
I don't really have much to plug. I guess if the people somehow liked me, then you could check out my channel, which is the same name that I use here, Call Me Kevin. But that's about it. And just thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
we
for
enjoyed
coming on,
having you
dude.
on, man.
Thank you for coming on.
And thank you, everyone at home, for watching this week's episode of the official podcast. We really appreciate you sticking around. If you'd like, we've got a Patreon, patreon.com/theofficialpodcast, where there's a whole lot of bonus content. You can head on over there and check it out. You might find something you like.
You can also check us out on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, any other place that you think a podcast should be listened to.
It'll
help
be
grow
there.
our dominance on the internet.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.